Okay, so moving on then, what I want is to create an extra breakdown here. So we've got breakdown 1 there, which I could rename, in fact, breakdown 1. Then here we're going to have breakdown 2. And for this one, what I'm thinking is, by the way, these sounds here are just the risers that we created using the vibes and the kick with the reverb. Just going to turn off the automation so it's easier to see that. It helps sometimes if you just name these: kick, riser, vibes, riser. I mean, on an arrangement course, I can't really stress enough how it's important to keep your sessions organized. I mean, it'll help you right now while you're working on it, but it'll particularly help you later on if you have to come back to the project. The more you label and color and keep things organized, the better it's going to be later. So what we could actually do is just rename this track kick FX. Yeah, so it's got impact and also risers on. So I can just move them out of the way for the minute. What I'm thinking for this breakdown then is to have the synth as the main feature. So I'm just going to duplicate that a few times. I think we're going to have it twice the length of the first breakdown. So the first breakdown was 4 bars, just a mini one at the end of the intro. This one is going to be a bit more substantial, so we're going to make it 8 bars long. Not quite as long as the drop, which is 16 bars, but yeah, a little bit longer, so we've got a bit more time to get into it. And one thing I can hear then with this synth, we've got a little bit of a gap between sounds. So what it could be nice to have here is some sort of a question answer. And I'm thinking the way we'll achieve that is actually with the beats. So I'm going to copy over the main drums and I'm going to edit it so that we get the drums alternating with the synth. So let's chop this up then. So we start off with a kick at the beginning. Again, this is just the Command-D split command, or you can even just sort of drag over the clip and then just hit delete. So we're going to have it so that it comes back in on beat 4. Yeah, just like that. That's going to sound good. Don't think we need to worry about extra fades there, but obviously pay attention to those if you have any little clicks going on. Just have a listen to it as it is. Oh, notice that's off as well. There we go. Yeah, that should be good. And what we need on here now, I'm actually just going to copy this over again. There you go. What I'm thinking on here now is just reverb and delay. So the reverb is going to add that extra depth and space and the dimensional kind of element. And the delay is going to obviously make it sound less abrupt with the beat just kind of stopping and starting. Going to give us a bit more of a repeating echo trail and some nice rhythms in between. So I've actually got an echo and a reverb and a hybrid reverb in a rack here. So I'm just going to drag these up to the track. And yeah, we'll look at another way. Do you remember before with the first breakdown, I showed you perhaps a slightly easier way of creating this sort of thing, having an additional track. And we could do the same thing here. We could create a new audio track, drag these down onto it and have effects on that. And that way we don't need to worry about automating the effects, so turning them on and off. It just keeps things simpler in that sense, but more complicated in that you're adding more tracks into your project. But it depends what kind of level you're at and how you want to approach that. So this is the other way then. We add the effects to the track, which is our main drums track, and we just automate the effects to turn them on in this section. So yeah, turning them on then, we're turning this whole rack on, which turns them both on. To show you how you do that, by the way, before you've added them to a rack, you just click on an individual effect, hold down Shift and click on the next one so they're both selected. And at that point, you can right-click it or use the keyboard shortcut and choose Command G and choose group. So if you choose group there, it will then place them inside a rack. So that's what it's done here, which means that I can now just turn the whole rack on and off to turn both effects on and off in one go. So I'm going to right click there, show automation, and we're just going to turn this on for our second breakdown. You can hear that's going to give us a nice echo trail as well as a bit of space with the verb. Really, really nice. Wicked. So that's the main foundational idea of this breakdown done. We'll add more to it in a moment. First though, let's just consider what's going to come next. So what I'm going to do, just drag these risers out the way for a sec. I think we're going to use them though. For this drop then, I'm going to copy over the whole of this section for now. So an identical drop initially. And I think all I want to do is add the synth to it. So the synth is then going to be an additional part here. I can then copy over the risers. We'll keep them in just constantly throughout just to, we can always remove them later on. So I'm just going to duplicate them throughout. And I'm going to hold down Alt now I've selected those and then add them to the drop as well. Actually, let me just move that out of the way. Yeah, so let's just copy over there. Copy that, Command C, and then just Command V to paste that in there as well. So that's added the vocal and Rhodes. I think I might lose the Rhodes initially though. I don't know if it's going to need it as well because we've got this extra synth with everything. So here's the drop with the synth as well then. Yeah, I think that's working really well there. So I'm just going to right click, add locator. This is drop 2 then now. Created very simply again, just by copying our first drop, but literally just adding the synth. And you can do more to it if you like. You can change up the percussion or stuff like that, but I think it's working quite well like this. I'm going to drag these risers in because I think they're going to help us build into this next drop. Certainly the vibes one, maybe not the kick one. Let's just turn that off for a minute. Let's turn this off a sec. The vibes I definitely want to have there though, going back into this next drop. So, you know, reintroducing the vibes as you remember we did in the last module. I'm just going to drag that to there. Yeah, really, really nice way there of reintroducing the vibes into the track. And it's the first time they've really dropped out in a major way, this breakdown. Cool.